You may now not escape with endeavoring to pull off having families you smudged low-down canines. I don't stress roughly her I were given my own difficulties. It appears as though karma has strike Kevin Tracker like a storm, leaving only the vestiges of his previous life. As of now, not a mystery considering the way that his scandalous separation from Wendy Williams. Kevin went as far as possible from riches again to floor coverings. And this person is generally spiraling directly down to the least element of his life, included with parts bucks cash owed, and being deserted through his accessory and child mom, Sharina Hudson. Yet what is Wendy's take on Kevin's life? Presently permits figure out hey everyone. And welcome lower back to Celeb Live Station. So folks at Sharina Hudson became ill of dwelling with a developed kid who can't get an action and cries over the money he can't have. And maybe the surrender of this unfortunate undertaking became catastrophe could make a delicious story. And of course Wendy Williams couldn't reside separated. And not to say something roughly Serena sometime unloading her ex. Something intense occurred over the course of the end of the week. Something extremely outrageous occurred of the end of the week. And I feel that we really want to talk about this. So Kevin Tracker presumably expected to leap to the pristine levels after he broke liberated from his stifling marriage with Wendy Williams. Anyway, reality smacked him hard inside the face. And presently this person is tortured by the results of his problematic life decisions. I made him separated and jobless, all in some time. Permits rewind the tape a touch and come lower back to 2007. While Kevin were given exhausted with his tiresome repeating circle of family members' ways of life, and started a steaming undertaking with a more youthful young lady named Sharina Hudson. And simultaneously as certain men are phenomenally mindful, while having a paramour, maybe Kevin turned out to be observably gullible, or totally esteemed to behave recklessly on the grounds that his issue with Sharina become essentially inside the open, or even while herself knew roughly it, considering the beginning for marriage I've recognized about her nearly starting from the beginning. I've respected that Kevin is a sequential cheat whenever I first found out become even as I changed into pregnant. As a base it makes sense of why Kevin felt so allowed to do the supposedly unfathomable things, and he has been consistently trying the limits of the lengths he can cross, not best via safeguarding an escort. Anyway, likewise, dunking into his then wife's pockets to support Sharina's lavish lifestyle. And kid, what a poisonous occurrence for us all this person has been he neglected to limitation himself, with more than one rings and extravagant eating. He went up to this point that he clearly supported his courtesan's business venture thoughts, as well he expressed in her after separate from proclamations. She changed into totally alright, with Kevin resting around anyway. Then the situation have become more prominent serious. Because of the reality, Kevin began wasting circle of family members' wealth, and would have liked to make Sharina a fruitful financial specialist. Legitimate Kevin is savvy anyway. Kevin's delivery, which train turned into his business venture transport, changed into garbage anyway. Wendy didn't should fear about Sharina sparkling, glossy inside the worldwide. Because of the reality, every idea from rub-down solution for dress symbol hopelessly fizzled. And that is the reason Kevin continued on taking the family cash to accommodate his courtesan, yet you could envision in the event that Serena's contemplations couldn't form into many thousands. So it basically caused Kevin just passing on all endeavors to dive into own family's ledger for more prominent mint pieces for his courtesan. You comprehend, I petitioned God for this second, yet truly. He becomes so quick to demonstrate the total worldwide that he can create whatever other genius that he multiplied his work, and started to dive into Wendy's pockets along with his the two arms. And I'm lost the depend of the scope of new companies. Kevin sponsored the utilization of Wendy's millions anyway, understanding that the television dubit transformed into making around 55,000 In sync with episode of her show it neglected to show up a very remarkable issue for Kevin now, assuming you're addressing the way in which Kevin ought to have get admission to that parcel's cash pleasantly permits presently not disregard that he become given a component of Wendy's maker. And could it become any such astounding and open door for him to settle on a decision for him and arise as a strong and persuasive maker anyway he felt all right with tolerating pay from his own special wife, and didn't consider finding another famous actor or an errand to work on some place on the way. Wendy came to understand that she and Kevin are going unmistakable strategies in life because of the reality he neglected to develop. I grew out of Kevin, I grew out of him, I grew out of him independently, and I grew out of him expertly. And they might have probably remained all in all for more prominent future years, with Wendy working intense, and Kevin losing their cash foolishly. Yet everything went down the channel for him when he fathered the youngster alongside his courtesan, and that have turned into the straw that broke the camel's back of Wendy's victims. You understand disloyalty is one part a full kid, is an entire nother subject. Wendy burned through no additional time tolerating this man, and she petitioned for legal separation anyway. In a dazzling flip of exercises, Kevin didn't dissent, and he immediately moved in with Sharina Hudson, and surprisingly proposed to her with a strangely exorbitant jewel ring, which the woman made sure to appropriate away anyway. What Kevin's so sure about is monetary equilibrium. After the separation, appropriately, a huge hurl of currencies that Wendy consented to send him every month as a remuneration for ending his agreement as her producer, and getting separated anyway, regardless of whether Wendy consented to pay him provision. She definitely knew where this cash could cross. Better believe it, legitimate folks for some other guxy sack to enchant Sharina, because of the reality this person's monetary decisions were crazy. And that is the very thing Wendy couldn't catch about him. In the event that I even have $1,000, I'd rather cross get an awesome exam than. At that point, purchase a satchel appropriately. Matters appear to be made do with Kevin now that he neglected to should counterfeit dwelling his twofold presence anyway, as you perceive his bliss didn't shutting long in light of the fact that divorce settlement cash quit coming after Wendy left her presentation. As Wendy's legal advisor calmly characterized to maddened Kevin, if under any condition he arranged his touch with talk with convey W isn't restored in ear, is generally suspended, dropped, or ended in peppy days. Never again have some other television show being broadcasted, and paying her a comparable benefits litigants knows, and is of the very assessment that every one's severance charge will be likely to one or the other end or correction. So Kevin's monetary expectations disappeared like a phantom, and numerous people even thought that Wendy performed him at enormous occasions. Probably she wanted to show him some monetary obligation. Yet as lovers stayed, it is all karma, since he had in no way, shape or form merited an unmarried dime, other than as one individual remarked pleasantly, "The thing is going round, comes round." He justifies every karma coming his direction. You don't slight individuals and expect you ought to get precise issues coming your direction. And some other individual brought head to compositions. You and your baby mom, Kevin, you shouldn't have made guarantees with an individual else's money. Karma has no unique arrangement with even while you assume you are a lord. As it became out, Wendy has had no profit since the